Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulullah. Inshallah, without further ado, we will get started with Sheikh Osama with the seven people promised shade on the day of judgment, and we are live streaming.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد أشرف الخلق وسيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, I pray that Allah Azza wa Jal accepts from us this day of fasting from Ramadan, and He accepts from us what has passed from this blessed month, and assists us and aids us in completing the duration of Ramadan with excellence. Allahumma ameen. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those who witness Laylatul Qadr with a forgiven sin, with an accepted Ramadan, and with an elevated status. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma ameen. We started yesterday speaking about those seven categories of people who will be in the shade of Allah Azza wa Jal on the day of judgment, the day that there's no shade but His. And the topics that this hadith presents to us are very foundational. The first one that we spoke about was Imamun Adil, a just ruler. And when we were going over that, we went over a lot of things relating to power, authority, position, and how that this doesn't just apply to the general ruler, even though the default reference is the general ruler. It also applies to every person in a position of power, like an imam, a teacher, a father, a mother. That's why we learned from another hadith of Prophet ﷺ, that if there is an emir of 10 who betrays and forsakes the amana of leading them, Allah Azza wa Jal will deny him from Jannah. Will deny him from Jannah. Yes. So this shows us it applies on all levels of leadership. And then the second one that we went over was Shabun Nasha'a fi ibadatillahi ta'ala. And when we went over it, we said the youth who grows in the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal has a coveted status. Why? Because there's a great deal of energy, a great deal of shahwa and desire. And with the youthfulness comes lack of experience and lack of realization of the consequences. So with all of this, it is very easy for the youth to use the youthful years for wrongful things. And that's why if someone is able to steer clear of this and maintain committed and in full surrender to Allah Azza wa Jal, then this is something that's very special. On the other hand, someone who has lived a lifetime is expected to have certain stability in their morals and their beliefs and their iman. And that's why we said there's another hadith that says there are three individuals who Allah Azza wa Jal will not look upon them and not give them any attention on the day of judgment, and they will have a painful punishment. Who are they? One of them is Shaykhun Zanin, someone who's reached old age, yet he decides to commit one of the worst sins in our deen, and that is zina, fornication, wal-iyadhu billah. And that's because the urge to commit such a deed is lesser in those times. And if someone goes ahead and does it, that means they have no regard for Allah's boundaries. Even though zina and fahisha is always an obscene sin, it is min al-mubiqat, it is one of the worst sins, one of the worst major sins, but still, this is a factor to consider. And the second one that we said is a'ilun mustakbir. The second one is someone who is utterly dependent. Allah has caused this person to be humbled in every sense of the word. They have no dunya, they don't have financial advantages, they're poor, they need others' support, yet they are arrogant. Because Allah gave them every reason to be humbled, yet they're not humble. And then the third one is Malikun Kadhab.